as of today, you have not paid $3.5 million of your own money to the ACLU. Yes or no?
I have not yet.
And as of today, you have not paid $3.5 million of your own money to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, correct?
I have not yet. Johnny sued me.
She's made $1 million in payments to them, but then she got sued here and hasn't been able to because she spent $6 million in attorney's fees. That is unrefuted. She still intends to pay those pledges, honor those pledges, and she said that throughout.
Let's switch gears now. Over the weekend as well, Amber Heard's insurance company, her former insurance company, New York Marine, filed a lawsuit saying that they shouldn't have to cover under their insurance policy that she had during the time in which she wrote the op-ed. And it's also in the same time period they covered her in which Johnny Depp filed a defamation lawsuit against her. This insurance company is suing her and saying, look, you were found liable with actual malice, so we shouldn't have to cover your legal fees. And according to another insurance company, Travelers, that also represented her at the same time, they say, at least as far as spring of 2022 goes, at that time period, they had paid $5 million of her legal fees. She said at trial, it was $6 million that she had spent. But it sounds like insurance is really covering all of this. So New York Marine says we shouldn't have to pay. What are your thoughts on that, Katherine? What's going to happen with this lawsuit?
Looking at their complaint, I think they have a very good basis for that. And jury verdict actually came out, and the information that Travelers, her homeowner insurance, was the one covering the defense, the attorney's fees and costs. I thought they're going to want their money back and they won't be paying for judgment as well. I anticipate it won't just be the New York Marine insurance who will ask for their money. Travelers will ask for their money back of all the attorney's fees they paid, because most insurance policies have that exclusion that if you committed something intentional or willful, that's not going to be covered by insurance policy, because that's against public policy to support someone who does something intentionally wrong. And here, defamation case, because actual malice was found against Amber Heard, that is considered intentional willful act. And so most insurance companies, when they issue policy and when they actually provide you with defense, meaning they pay your attorney's fees and costs, they issue a reservation of rights. And that's what New York Marine indicated in their complaint. They agreed to pay for her attorney's fees, but with a reservation of right that if you are found willful, we will rescind the benefits we offer you. And that's what happened to her.
And it's a little confusing, but we need to be clear that Travelers actually sued New York Marine as well last year, saying New York Marine didn't pay its share or its half of the legal fees. Travelers had paid the whole bill. And that action, that whole case was stayed pending the outcome of the verdict in the defamation case. And we know what happened there. Amber Heard lost and was found liable and, $10.35 million judgment. She's appealing. So are you saying to me, you anticipate that Travelers will now go back and sue Amber Heard and say we want our money back?
I think so. I anticipate that's going to happen, because if Travelers suing New York Marine is asking for a reimbursement of their fees and costs, they are basically saying, hey, it's supposed to be 50-50. But at the same time, if they can't get that from New York Marine, then their alternative legal action would be to file a lawsuit against Amber Heard, or to basically just say, hey, you know what, you have to reimburse us because we're not going to pay your attorney's fees and costs because that's an exclusion to our insurance policy. You brought up a good point though, which is that New York Marine, they initially said in their complaint that they agreed to pay the attorney's fees and costs for Amber Heard, but then they ended up not doing it because, interestingly, the complaint said that Amber Heard and her agent might have told her other defense firms not to cooperate with the law firm that New York Marine actually selected for her.
Right. They're saying that, look, we approved of this counsel and then they withdrew because you guys didn't want them. So that's another reason we shouldn't have to pay. So it's interesting and we will be keeping an eye on it.
Exactly. I used to do insurance defense and this is usually boring, but now it's becoming very interesting because everyone's learning about insurance law now.
Yeah, definitely. And the fact that sometimes homeowners policies can cover defamation. Not all the time, but sometimes they can. Katherine Lizardo, thanks so much for coming on to talk with us about this as always.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.